Hey guys, and welcome back to my geography channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where Belarus forms an empire. So, I spun a wheel, and it landed on Belarus. This wheel has every country in the world, and we didn't make an empire video about Belarus yet, so today Belarus is forming the empire. Throughout this video, Belarus is going to be colored as the color red. Even if someone declares war on them, they'll still be red because they're forming the empire. But only today. For the sake of this video, NATO, the EU, the UN, CSTO, and every other alliance will be disbanded because war is no longer accepted in the modern day. Without further ado, please subscribe to my main channel, RapidInfo1, link in the description, and let's get into this. The first thing they're going to be doing today is going to be pretty big. Belarus declares war on Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and they invite Russia, who accepts. This was a surprise attack, so Belarus was already prepared and the Baltics were definitely not. Russia also wasn't, so Belarus starts the push into Latvia and Lithuania, and they're doing pretty good. After a month or so, Russia is fully mobilized and they can easily push into Estonia and Latvia. And Belarus starts a spearhead to connect to Kaliningrad, and they are successful! The push from Kaliningrad begins. They're doing pretty good until Poland joins the war. And Poland realized that they were gonna join the war when they saw what Belarus was doing. So they fully capitulate Kaliningrad. And Poland also liberates a little bit of land, trying to disconnect these two fronts, but they are unsuccessful by a tad little bit. Russia and Belarus realize this and they say it's time to go full boom boom. They recapture what Poland just took and walk into Kaliningrad. So it's back to square one. And Russia and Belarus say that first they're gonna focus on the Baltics and then they're gonna do Poland. So they try to cut them off over here. The Baltics aren't very strong and developed countries, and Belarus and Russia are kind of strong because Russia is a global superpower, so they easily cut them off. This part is surrounded, they surrender, and they establish a naval blockade around these two islands, so they also surrender. Lithuania surrenders. Latvia fights a little, but then they don't find a point into fighting anymore, so they also surrender, and the rest of Estonia also surrenders. Poland tries to liberate a little bit of Lithuania, but they find no point, and they surrender to it. Ooh. So, Estonia was this, by the way. They lost around half of their land to Russia. Latvia didn't lose as much as they deserved to, but Lithuania, they got wiped until the last bit. This bit surrendered. So this bit is here. And Poland. So they surrendered, so they didn't lose much. They just have to give away these lands, who were anciently called East Prussia. It was owned by Germany, and the blue thing you can see right now was called Prussia. It belonged to Germany. So this was practically Germany. But after World War II, the Soviet Union destroyed Germany, and so they had like this. So you can see what the Soviet Union looked like in blue, and they had a little more than just Kaliningrad. It was given to Lithuania, and they're looking to reclaim Lithuania and stuff. And they reclaimed Estonia and Latvia, and they just want to reunite with Belarus one day and go back to being as big as the Soviet Union. This is what Russia is looking forward to do. So East Prussia is now Russian, and you can see that Russia claimed a lot of Latvia and a lot of Estonia and a little bit of Lithuania, but Belarus claimed just Lithuania. They claimed it all, and this had to be let go in the peace treaty. They weren't allowed to get it, so Yeah. So Belarus would technically tell Lithuania that if they don't give them their land, they would declare war on them and kill them directly. But they can't because they're subjected to peace for 20 years with them. So instead, they just join Latvia, which is cut into two. So this Latvia unites with Estonia and becomes one country called Estonia. And this is official Latvia. Let's not fight over a name again, right? So in dark red is Belarus' biggest ally, also known as Russia. Then Belarus calls their homie, Russia, and asks them to hop on the group chat and enjoy doing something fun, also known as destroying Ukraine. Now, Ukraine knew that this was gonna happen. So directly when Belarus declared war on them, Ukraine just went for it. But as you may know, Russia's kind of good at destroying Ukraine. So they instantly get Donetsk and Luhansk. Is that how you pronounce it? Oh, and Crimea, of course. And they push out from those places too. If I make a mistake anywhere in this video, correct me, I would love that. And then Russia makes a push and surrounds some troops over in Belarus almost. And they can do this. And these troops just surrender. And these other ones decide to go and cripple themselves but be stronger in one little place. And as you can see, Russian and Belarusian troops are really near the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. Kyiv or Kiev?
Kyiv.
Kyiv. So it's Kyiv. They got some troops over close to Kyiv and they try to make an encirclement. So Ukraine instantly pulls out all their troops from Belarus and sends them to defend over in Kyiv. They can do this and this. They can encircle. This is a bloody battle. But then Belarus and Russia team up really strong to go and get close to the capital of Ukraine. And Ukraine knows that if they lose their capital, they'll most definitely lose the war. So they send all of their troops out from everywhere in the country. I'm talking everywhere, even here, to go and do this. So troops from the west go almost immediately to cut them off. And troops from the east do the same thing. And they get really close and they actually do it. And they push them down. This was the dumb move because they get to Kyiv. So Kyiv is raided and stuff and they get really strong there. But then the Ukrainian military pushes them out. So Kyiv is back there but raided and it's getting really unstable. This thing is really strong. They expand north and they connect. And they encircle again and they get thicker. And with Ukraine getting less stable, a communistic rebel group pops up, Republic of Transnistria. So they declare independence, and they are half controlled by Moldova and Ukraine because they declared independence from a lot more than what they had. But it instantly escalates higher, and they're easily able to get everything they want. So it instantly cuts Ukraine out from Ukraine and Moldova, but they're still this year. But they do the same through Ukraine too, isolating Moldova completely. And they do some stuff over in this Ukrainian panhandle, and that's what they do. There are no troops over here. The few troops that are stationed there immediately surrender because they know that they can't make it. Moldova tries to get some of it back, but they realize they need to focus on themselves. So they try to cut the communist rebel into two, but it's pretty hard because it's really strong, and I think we all know who's funding it. Kyiv is completely stalemated and nothing gets through it because every single Ukrainian troop is there, making Ukraine pretty vulnerable to the rebel. And now the rebel touches the red team. Ukraine removed all of its troops from the border and it's pretty vulnerable right now. So it's really easy for the red team to obliterate them. Purple team too, by the way. Whoa, that communist country is strong. Yo, This Ukraine country is not very strong. Wow. Alright. Woohoo! Yeah, Ukraine, I'm sorry. Okay. Kyiv is surrounded. The first battle for Kyiv was won by Ukraine, but now, let's see. Communist troops come from the south, and Russian and Belarusian troops come from the north, and they also do stuff here. This is what's left of Ukraine. Yeah, second biggest country in Europe. Biggest country that is fully in Europe. They advanced to the gates of Kyiv, and the purple team too, but it's the red team that grabs it. Whew, let's look at this peace treaty. Alright guys, please know that everything I'm doing and saying right now is fictional and for fun, so please don't take it seriously. So we have this communist Ukraine, still in war with that country, so yeah. And we have Russia being huge and grabbing a lot of Ukraine. And Belarus also gets a lot of Ukraine. Let's wait for this war to finish. Yeah, it was pretty obvious that communist Ukraine would win. Except if Romania joined the war, but then it would lead to a full-on Balkan war, which we don't like, hey? Anyways, sooner or later, this communist Ukraine is gonna join Russia. Yeah, we knew this. It's obvious. This is Russia's dream. And then later, they might send over some letters to Estonia, Latvia, Poland to give them land. So let's imagine that happens, and they probably would because they don't want war. And then they could ask Poland to give them this land, which would be pretty exaggerated. And by then, there would probably be a pact against Belarus and Russia. But we know that sooner or later, Belarus is obviously going to join Russia. This is obvious. They're huge allies. This is Russia's dream. They just need this, and they'll be good to go. This maybe too? Oh yeah, and this. But before they unite, let's just do the flag. Alright, this is the flag of Belarus I drew by memory. I don't know what the carpet rug thing is, I don't remember. But editor, please insert the flag of Belarus on the screen right now. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was drastic. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Please remember to check out my main channel in the description. Bye!